Queen's Park Rangers returned to winning ways in Wales on Wednesday night as Rumarn Burrell's 18th minute volley proved enough to seal all 3 points against 10-man Swansea, despite a barrage of late pressure from the hosts. I'm Connor aka Hoopsa, I talk all things QPR, and in this match reaction I'll be breaking down all the key moments from Swansea 0, QPR 1. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and if you'd like to support the channel further, why not check out my Patreon below. Rarely a creature of habit and defeat, Julian Stephan opted for 5 changes for QPR's second game of the week. Amadou Mabenge paired up with Steve Cook at centre-back following Liam Morrison's second-half injury on Saturday afternoon, while Sam Field made a surprise appearance at left-back of all places, with Reece Norrington-Davies shifting to the bench. Isaac Hayden took the place of Jonathan Varane alongside Nicholas Madsen in central midfield, while Koki Saito and Rumarn Burrell replaced Harvey Vale and Mickey Frey, with Paul Smith shifting over onto the right-hand side. The bench meanwhile finally saw the welcome return of Elias Chair following his appearance for the Dev squad on Monday afternoon, amazingly somehow his first time in the matchday squad since Watford away in the second league game of the season. This match started off a fairly balanced affair, but Rangers soon shaded the early chances, Richard Kone almost robbing Swans keeper Lawrence Vigouroux at the back on 8 minutes, but Hayden unable to capitalise on his rushed clearance. Madsen, by far our best player throughout, was dominant at both ends in these opening minutes, 1 minute hoovering up play in our half and the next attacking in theirs. He created our first real chance on 12 minutes, a quick break culminating in the Dane playing a sweeping cross into Kone that he headed over the bar. And he pulled the trigger on our next shot a few minutes later, Mabenge, Dunn, Hayden and Smith combining well down the right hand side to get the ball up to Burrell before the striker cut inside and flashed the ball across the box, Madsen capitalising on a limp Swansea block with a vicious effort saved at the near post. Soon enough though, in a stark contrast to Saturday, Rangers capitalised on their early dominance, and it started with Madsen again, the centre mid extinguishing the initial sparks of a Swansea break to completely flip play. Kone mopped up the loose ball and carried it out to Saito on the left, the winger cutting in before spotting an intelligent run in behind from Hayden, the midfielder quickly pulling the ball back for Burrell to tuck it away with a first-time volley. It was a really lovely passage of play and honestly a goal that was at that stage very well deserved with how Rangers had started the game. The irony of course though is that from the moment the goal went in, we started to look a very different team, and that was for 2 reasons. Firstly, it was because for the next 15 minutes, Swansea, a goal down and struggling at home once again, obviously started to try and get on the ball more. That led to a lot more action in and around our box, which QPR actually did a very good job at defending, Mabenge a very welcome return next to Steve Cook. The second, of course, is that on 35 minutes, when Malik Yakuye was silly enough to nibble at Cook's housery of a certain kind off the ball and decided he'd respond with his forehead, he earned himself a straight red card and Swansea were reduced to 10 men. Now that should be a good thing, right? I imagined quite literally any other football team in English football, maybe the world, that would be music to their ears. A solid hour of football to come with a one-man advantage. To us poor QPR fans though, we know how much we struggle against 10 men, and struggle we did. Because for the remainder of the half, the R's not only managed just 2 more efforts after Burrell's goal, a blocked Kone shot from the centre of the box and a Madsen free kick that flew well into the stands, but they barely managed to get themselves on the ball. With Swansea opting for a double change of Josh Key and Ronald at half-time, that pattern continued early in the second half. I can't really tell whether this is a good thing from Swansea's perspective or not, but rarely did it ever feel like they had 1 man less. Getting more and more of the ball, the home side grew gradually into the game, Ronald more successful in trying to force the issue and carrying the ball dangerously into our box before a vital block from Mabenge steered it out for a thankfully inconsequential corner. Again, it's a good job that our defence were on it in this one, because had they defended like last weekend, this game could have been a totally different story. Stephan reacted by reaching for Dembele in place of Smith for his first change, but things didn't shift immediately. An ill-informed bomb forward from Mabenge left us naively open for Swansea to counter on 64 minutes, makeshift left-back Field having to deploy another crucial block on Ronald in the box to let his teammate off the hook. One of Stephan's next 2 changes, however, did offer a brief respite from a game that looked like it was going in typical QPR fashion. The welcome return of Elias Chair for Burrell, who joined the pitch alongside Varane for Hayden, the latter of which I thought gave us a very welcome solidity in the middle of the pitch during his time on it. Clearly, it's easy to forget just how good Elias Chair has been for QPR over these years. When Rangers started to find form this season, and with it pace and power and creativity that we've not seen in years, many, myself included, wondered where Chair fits back into all of this, particularly with 2 strikers the head coach's preferred setup. The general consensus was that he would slow things down just too much. But honestly, Chair dismissed those doubts within 60 seconds of stepping on the pitch, combining with Madsen and Kone with speed and flair in the pocket for a move that could have delivered another delightful team goal had Dembele not finished it off with an attempt that honestly looked like he'd purposely tried to boot the ball out of the ground. A few minutes later, QPR's number 10 was at it again, whipping in a dangerous ball across the 6-yard box, painfully misread by Kone, before spinning on a Saito cutback only to have his shot blocked. On 78 minutes, shortly after Cook had a solid header of his own saved, Chair really should have doubled the lead when Dembele played a perfectly weighted through ball behind the defence to set him up for a one-on-one, only for the Moroccan to shoot straight at the keeper. Regardless, the point is he finally shifted the game back into Rangers' hands, at least temporarily, and the prospect of a version of Chair that not only no longer has to carry the whole team on his back, but also has players of a similar quality and wavelength around him is really quite tantalising. The maddest thing is though, that wasn't even the biggest chance we wasted, because on 81 minutes, Dunn looked like he'd perfectly capped off his charge halfway up the pitch with a brilliant shot across goal, only for the ball to strike the left-hand post. And it gets even worse because with the keeper barely recovered, Varane couldn't even keep the rebound on target. And in the dying moments of the game, it looked like QPR were about to rue those missed chances not once, not twice, but 3 times. The first came from late subs Jan Vapotnik on 91 minutes. Josh Timman playing a fantastic ball into the area that finally had the beating of our backline, only for the Slovenian to steer his side's best chance inexplicably wide. The pair then repeated it again just moments later, the sub-striker producing a dangerous header from another cross from the left back, but Nardi reacting excellently at point-blank range. Swansea's last chance to get back in the game fell quite literally to Melker Vidal, Elias Cher's cynical shirt pull to hold play initially looking like a clever choice, but less so when the cleared free kick fell to Vidal on the edge of the box, his perfectly timed volley veering a foot wide of the left-hand post until at long last, the whistle was blown for full time. We started this game so brightly and looked so balanced until the red card, at which point we looked like a completely different football team. Why we consistently look so poor against 10 men is one of football's great mysteries and should honestly be studied. All that really matters though is the result, a fantastic 3 points away from home, another clean sheet, and the perfect response to Saturday's blip. There were still plenty of positives too despite that gradual fade. Burrell, Chair, and a continually impressive Madsen, who seems to be finding more and more levels as the games go by. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on the game. What did you think of this one? I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments down below. As I said at the start, if you're new to the channel, you've enjoyed this match reaction and you'd like more content, please consider hitting like and subscribe, and maybe I'll see you in the next one for my Derby County match preview. Cheers!